Hi all you beautiful people. Yeah, this is a this is a movie. This is a video about walking our path and how I just feel life is really inspiring me right now, or I'm being guided, and that's what's so beautiful in our life. And I hope you're experiencing it too, that the more we dare to just relax and be in ourselves and trust that there is all the wisdom that we're looking for is actually already in us. It's just waiting to be discovered. And that at the same time there's beings around us who are all there to help us. And the more we go into this state of mind, state of being, the more it happens. So that is one example of how we're creating our lives. When we wake up in the morning and say, I'm right where I'm meant to be, life is really perfect, and I am this amazing being full of all the wisdom I need, and it's only a matter of me relaxing into it, and it will all be given to me so that I can create as I came to, well, what I came to create. And for many of us it can just simply be to heal. We didn't come to start a big organization or have a big family, whatever. We came to actually just become ourselves, because for so long we haven't been ourselves. So that is that is really the main achievement. Become who you are. So the whole thing of people asking, well, what is my purpose? Why did I come here? Well, you came here actually mainly to be you. And that is actually, for most of us, it's the hardest thing to do. But the more we become this, the more we actually become God in human form, and everything unfolds. So what the more we become this this true being, the more the light beams through us, and the more we can sense how our ego is stepping back completely. And even our personality is stepping back, and we just come into the flow. So our life just becomes this mystical, magical experience of really, like in the best fairy tale, you get to live in the kingdom of God on earth. You get to become the kingdom yourself. And so everything you're doing is from inner guidance, and you're loving what you're doing. And it can be cleaning the house, it can be sitting on a rock, it can be anything. So, my goodness, what a ride. What a ride we're on. And yesterday I had this really all morning, I had this really sort of doubt about myself and about where I am in the world, and whether I should be moving. And it's just been, it comes sort of in waves, and I was really more or less about to move, because I feel the situation I'm in is so stupid, but also really strange, because there's no real communication between, there's no communication really between my husband and me. It's just this silence, and it's awkward, it's very awkward, and my natural way of being is to say, okay, let's sit down and talk, but I've done that for 30 years, and so I've stopped doing that, taking the initiative to say, okay, let's communicate. Because communication is just vital. But sometimes, and that's what I'm sensing, there's something in this. When something feels strange or awkward or uncomfortable, it's because there is a learning process for me, for you. There's a lesson here for me to learn, and there's a growth opportunity for me here. And so it was just so fantastic, because I went through this whole morning of figuring out how could I find a job and which job would suit me, and I think if I was to have a job, I think being a church singer, which, because I love to sing and I think it's okay to be in a church. I used to love to be in the churches, but not anymore, but I could do that, and I was just planning all these things. And by the evening, it all disappeared. That whole plan just vanished. And I was told very clearly, you're in the perfect place at the perfect time, and there's nothing more perfect than your life right now for you. And really, that's what I hope to... Just have to shut a door. So that's what I also wish to share in this video, that actually that's what I'm being told, is that our life is 100% perfect. There's nothing more perfect for us than what is happening right now in our life. And the mind can't handle that. It's just it's impossible, because you can't, with words and with the intellect, you can't explain why this is perfect, because so much is a mess for many of us. But that's the first part of the lesson, is to allow yourself to not understand what's going on. And of course, some of us have to make big moves physically, change our diet, do different things where we're more friendly towards ourselves. So there's no doubt, sometimes on the outer level we have to make changes. But what I really feel I'm being told right now is it's all happening within, and it's all about our way of embracing life, and that's where the real work is happening, and that's where the real work has to happen, because our outer world is an expression, is a complete mirror image of what is happening inside us. And when we're violating the earth, violating each other, that's what we're doing to ourselves on an inner level. So I've got some videos about emotional healing that I've made a while ago, so they'll be coming, some different videos I made this summer. And so that's what I got so clearly when last night I got to this. It's just so beautiful how you suddenly feel this clarity come, and you're told that this is perfect. And so just to go back to my life and the lesson I'm learning with this quietness, because many people, maybe especially men, but many people, maybe the more introvert people, they choose when something's not going well to not communicate. That's their way of making their way through it. Just be quiet. And some often believe that if I'm quiet long enough, something's probably going to happen and solve everything. And it's not. Because you have to get in there and do your thing and say, well, this is where I am, this is where I stand, this is how I feel, this is what I want. And what do you want? How can we make this work in whatever way is possible? So, and that's what's natural for me, to go in and try to communicate through this. So the practice for me right now is to accept that there is no communication, and it's all quiet. And that is really challenging for me. But it's one, that's why it's a practice for me, to say there's no words, because there are no words to be said. There's nothing that needs to be said. There needs to be silence right now. And so the whole part of me that wants a solution, wants something to, you have this jigsaw puzzle, it's all messed up, let's get it fixed so we can move on. That is being trained in me, that the jigsaw puzzle is all messed. And that's the old me said, well then when the jigsaw puzzle's we've got it all in place and we know, okay, this is why this and this and this and this is why the situation is this and this is what we're going to do, then I can feel peace. Well, what I'm being told right now in this moment is that that's a part of a part of the lesson for me, to train the ability. That's the master. I mean, it is the master in us that's being trained now. It gets, in a way, it gets easier and easier, but also it gets harder and harder because it's more and more complex what we're learning. So what I'm learning right now is to feel the peace with all the jigsaw puzzles lying everywhere and probably a few missing. So I release the need to fix it and to understand it. And while I'm this is it's really mastery. That we're training this mastery, and you can use many other words. We're becoming completely pure light. So everything that was well, it's old addictions. It was an addiction I have had to things, to understanding things. I needed to understand things so I could be peaceful, and I have to let go of that addiction, because in all the mess the perfection is. So my training is to see that in that pile of pieces of puzzle, this little flower is shooting up, bringing its beauty. And it's also a fear. It's a fear I've been holding on to, that when I don't have this organized and understand, I can't understand it, I can't relax, so I feel fearful. See, I have to, it has to go. We're in a time now where we have to clean out the heart. And those of us who are here where we are, you who are seeing this video, we're here to maybe, when we clean our heart, we're cleaning it for thousands of other people who don't need to do it. They can. We're easing their journey. So it's for everyone. We're doing this. So you can really, no matter what situation you're in, we can always come back to the question, where do I feel the peace? Because I must feel the peace. How can I feel the peace right now? And as soon as you feel the peace, you're aligned with your soul. You are aware. It's like we slip away from our soul, and then with the mind, with our inner will, we have to keep coming back, because nobody's going to push us back. Life is going to push us around till we learn to keep aligning ourselves, keep coming back. So the whole thing of doing meditation is really wonderful, doing your meditation once a day or twice a day. But really life is supposed to be this meditation. You keep coming back to the candle. You keep coming back every moment of the day. Yes, and also just to mention me again, when relationships aren't working and everything is, some people close to me, I just don't, there's no contact at all. It's all stopped, and I've stopped the whole thing of calling because I've done that so much all my life, and so I just leave it. And really what I'm being told is just come back to yourself, because this is really where you can make a difference. And this is really, God is like this beautiful, this loving Father who says, come back to yourself, stop focusing on those relationships, because that's not where we want you to put your energy. Leave them alone. They've got their work to do, and the more you work on yourself, the more you're helping them. And it's cleaning out the heart. I mean, you can really more or less see yourself as this cleaner with your mop and your bucket, and you're cleaning out your heart. So it's really in a very simple way. We can put it this way, that you're first of all, we need to structure our lives so we really feel it's pleasant and good for us. And it seems so selfish, but we have to do this. It's vital that we do this, so your life becomes very friendly and very loving towards you, so you can be as relaxed as possible in this moment. And you train this every moment of the day, staying in your peaceful, feeling the beauty of who you are in every moment. And knowing with yourself that there's something in my subconscious, something in my body, there is something I'm holding on to somewhere it's gonna rise to the surface. And when it comes, I'm going to feel uncomfortable. And that is another layer, that so we can get out our bucket and clean it away by giving it awareness. And for me, I can see, which I've mentioned before, it's being around. See, my mother was in a lot of emotional pain all my life. She's been all my life a very unhappy woman, and she's fluctuated. But that is one of my big themes in life. So I attract people who are actually very unhappy, because then I can help them, and then I have an identity. The whole thing is, that's the ego. So that's what been one of my big ones, that there'll be some very unhappy people around me, and they're really only mirroring my own unhappiness. But the whole thing of feeling responsibility to help them move on, get out of their stuck state of being, and a desperation in me, and an enormous sense of responsibility. And I have to let it go. I have to let this go, because I am not there. I have to stop it. And it's really challenging, because I feel I should do something, but I'm meant to not do anything. So and for some people it can be the opposite. They've been all self-indulged always, and they have to start training, seeing what can I do for someone. I've been the opposite, and it doesn't. I mean, we're no better. Nobody's any better, no matter what theme you have. It's imbalances, and it's old pain, old lies that are stuck to our heart. So, yeah, and so just to come back to my little practical life here, we've had this very dry summer, and we have this well where we have this wonderful water that comes out, and it's just always we've had an abundance of water. And these last few days, these days, the well dried out. There was no water at all, and we've never experienced that before. It would always fill up again within a few hours, but now the water stopped coming. Finally it has come, but there's very little, and it's wonderful, really, when we get this. We're on this path of living this way. Things like that are beautiful examples or opportunities for us to train the fear. Is fear going to come now? And you can sense it just coming like a little wave, and then quickly let it go and say, oh, there's no water. Okay, so today I washed my hair with some water in a bucket, because luckily we have this pond where I can go and get water in a bucket. And just sense, how does this feel like? Well, I just feel so grateful I was able to wash my hair. It was it was just the best feeling to get my head clean. And really, you don't need to bathe very much if you're massaging yourself. You can just wash the vital places, and it is just so it's so powerful, and it's such a gift when we get to see that life is not after us, trying to bully us. Life is trying to refine us. All these things come to train us to be more pure and really more filled with joy, and most of all, to not be pushed around like that, that we get to stand very firmly on our roots. That, I mean, there's no water, well, that won't blow me away. Lots of people have no water. I mean, God Almighty. So just keep coming up to this, and it's joy. You're filled with joy. Not because you have water, but because you're joyful. You just choose to be joyful. That's because you're connected to your soul, and your soul is pure joy. So it's all just, in a way, it's really the whole thing of saying that you're dancing with life. It's being playfulness, not letting things push you down. And you're not standing in this, I'm not going to, it's not that way. It's with the joy and the love and the subtle, being, you're soft at the same time. You're playful. And you're humorous. You can laugh at it. It's actually really funny. The whole thing with the communication with my husband, which is not there, it's actually very funny. You're together for 32 years, and then there's nothing to say. It can make you feel very, very sad, but on the other hand, it's actually very funny because yeah. So, and the last thing, this is just a real mixture. Now we've talked about water. Now we can talk about poo, because my little calf Mary has had this scours. And it's actually, it can be really serious, so they can die from it. So you have to watch them. And it's come and it's gone. And so she hasn't really been thriving. And yesterday morning I came out to do the milking, and I could see that there was this poo everywhere, and it was just, she was really not well. And I've been trying to give her the bottle, this with some milk watered down with some water and some garlic, which is supposed to be very powerful and just completely heal the condition. But she won't suck on that because she's too old. She can't learn it. I've been standing there for an hour and she won't do it. So yesterday, I'm sort of feeling the angels more and more, how they are just desperate to help us. They really want to help us. And we just have to just start talking to them, and they will talk to us. They will actually, we can all channel. Everybody can channel, because they will speak through us and tell us what to do. And I just asked them, and really I was told, just trust that we're going to help you. It all is going to be well. And this morning, Mary, I could see, I was looking for her poo to see how was she, and there was none there. And she was sucking away, she was having her morning milk, and then I was on my way back to the house, but I just looked in, and then she was doing this poo. And it was a beautiful, healthy poo. There was nothing wrong at all. So that's just some little examples from my life, how powerful it is to stay in the joy, stay in the peace, know that all is well, and ask for help. So, yeah, this was a real mixture. So I send my love to all of you, and I pray for you every day, morning and evening. So I know our life is just going to unfold in the most amazing ways. And that's another thing I've been getting. See your future. I mean, sparkling beautiful. I see, in my future, I'll be having so many loving, very deeply loving relationships. Or many, I mean, I don't mean thousands, but beautiful, healthy relationships are going to come into my life. And I see myself healthy and joyful. In the future, I can see how I'm moving towards this every day. I'm moving closer and closer into this. It's manifesting more and more. This is really, really powerful to do. To see your future as this, I mean, it is a fairy tale. The kingdom, you see this beautiful kingdom where the king is reigning, and that's God. And this is your home. This is where you are there already, and you're just moving deeper and deeper into it, and there's all joy for you. And when we're in this space, it happens. So, and just the feeling that it's going to, the trust that you feel in your heart, this is happening, I know it's going to happen, it's coming more and more. It just makes you feel that you're there. So, it just brings you there. It's just so good. So, yeah, have a really, really special, light-filled, love-filled day. And remember to just be in your beautiful light, no matter what's happening around you. See you.